When I wrote the book Surprised by Hope, a journalist wrote a piece about it in one of the London newspapers and pointed out that I was doing some quite different things to what Christians expected with the idea of heaven and the afterlife and so on. Unfortunately, though the journalist got the material right, sometimes when a piece like that appears in the newspapers, somebody else writes the headline, and the person who wrote the headline on that occasion put, "New Bishop abolishes heaven and the soul." And I got angry letters from all sorts of good, wise, devout Christians saying, "How can you possibly say this? You're a wicked heretic. You shouldn't say anything like that," and so on. And of course, I sent them copies of what I'd actually said, and usually I didn't hear back from any of them. But what was I saying about the soul? Interestingly, the word soul doesn't occur very much in the New Testament, and when it does, it doesn't actually mean what most Christians, again in the Western tradition, have imagined it means. The word soul in the New Testament is actually quite a loose word. It's a rather generalized way of talking about who I really am in the presence of God. It's not, therefore, a way of referring to some thing inside me, some spiritual substance, which was there before I was born and will be there after I die. That idea that human beings have an immortal soul which pre-existed them and will go on to all eternity come what may, that idea actually comes from Plato, not from the Bible. The Bible is really quite clear about it. According to Paul in the first letter to Timothy, chapter 6, verse 16, Paul says that he alone, that is Jesus Christ alone, has immortality. And then in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, he says that God gives immortality to those who are in Christ, to those who trust him. So the idea that we all automatically possess an immortal soul really isn't in line with the New Testament, which says that yes, we all stand in the presence of God. Yes, we all can have a relationship with God. And if you want to use the word soul as a loose way of talking about that, that's fine, because it is actually rather difficult to find appropriate language for such a mysterious thing. But don't be deluded by that into imagining that we are really Platonists in disguise, believing that we have this immortal soul that goes right on through. God has immortality. Jesus Christ, who is the second person of the Trinity, has that immortality and has expressed that in his resurrection. And he will give to all his people that immortality, not just as a soul, but actually as a body.